I signed over 60 clients using this cold outreach strategy, going from a complete beginner to consistently signing multiple clients every single month. This same strategy has also added hundreds of thousands of dollars for some of our clients using the same exact protocol. So in this video, I'll break down the 3 cold outreach pillars that I use to do this so that you can just copy me. Let's get right into it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, here is how I signed 60 plus clients with this cold outreach strategy, right? So the pillar number 1 that we're going to talk about, the first pillar of this cold outreach strategy, is the foundation. Now, if you have a great foundation, you will be in this game for the long term. So here's what I mean. Here is a client that we work with, and you can see they actually started working with us around June, July, or around that time period. And you can see in August 3rd, 2023, they asked me in the Slack channel, like, hey, Arian, we just closed our first ever deal from working with you, from doing your cold outreach strategy, right? And you could see recently, a few weeks ago, August 7th, 2025, so 2 years later, they just said again, hey, we just got our first client on board. And so you can see that they're still closing deals and booking calls 2 years later with the same exact cold outreach strategy because their foundation is very solid. And if you can do this step and if you can learn this first pillar, you'll be able to do this, and you'll be able to consistently book calls month after month, year after year. And if you want to watch the full interview I did with them and how they've been consistently been able to do this, you go check out the interview on my channel. But in terms of the actual foundation itself, here's a mistake that most people make, right? Most people will either send out 100 messages across the span of a month and just stop, or they'll just be consistent for like 3, 4, 5 days and stop. This does not work when you're doing cold outreach. You see, if you do one of these two, I guarantee you're not going to book calls. You're not going to sign clients. None of that's going to happen. You might get lucky, maybe book one call from like 100 messages, or like maybe consistently 3 days of sending, but you're not going to consistently sign as many clients as you want, right? You're not going to consistently grow month after month, and you're not going to get the growth that you want. So the thing with cold outreach is the foundation is very important. And what I mean by the foundation is you have to have these 3 things. You have to have daily discipline. Show up every single day. Send every single day, in fact. And consistently send out messages, right? Show up every single day and actually send out a lot of messages. Have patience. Don't expect immediate results in the first day. Don't expect immediate. Don't just write up a DM or email and send it out and be like, okay, I'm gonna get this email I'm gonna send out is so good. The guy's gonna book a call with me. I'm gonna close him on the deal. Don't expect that. Just have patience. Have patience. It's a sprint, or it's a marathon, not a sprint. So have patience. And then finally, play the long game, right? So if you start sending out messages today, expect yourself to close deals a week or 2 or 3 weeks from now. Don't expect to close deals again. It kind of goes off in the patience thing, but expect yourself to close deals in the long term. If you can do these 3 steps, I promise you, you will have a very, very good roadmap to success. But the thing is, the roadmap will look like this, right? You want to get to the summit here of the hill, but you have to practice these 3 things. And the only way you can get yourself where you're at right here to up here on the hill or the top of the hill is by having these 3 things. So you have to have these 3 foundations, or else you're just not going to succeed. You're going to stop after a few days, or you're going to stop after sending out a few messages because you're like, this doesn't work for me. Have these 3 things. Have discipline. Have patience. Play the long game, and you will be good. The easiest and best example I can give you is the gym, right? Hold up. It's the gym, because everybody understands this example, and I'm going to show this to you. This is me at 18 when I was around a senior, and this is me right now at 23. Do you think if I did not have daily discipline, do you think if I did not have the patience, or maybe if I didn't play the long game, that I would achieve this physique? Probably not, right? Going from this skinny little scrawny kid to where I am now is pretty good. And the way I did this is by having discipline, playing the long game, and having patience. That's literally it. I'm sharing this example with you because everybody can fundamentally understand this, right? Everybody understands fitness. Everybody understands, okay, if you work out, if you eat clean, and you're consistent, you will be in great physical shape. And this is the exact same process that you have with cold outreach. As long as you stay consistent, as long as you have discipline, as long as you play the long game, you will have great results. But you have to have the foundation set up correctly, or else you'll just quit after a few days. And so that is the first step. Set up the foundation of your pillar, and this will be the backbone for you, right? Now, consistently also compounds over time. Now, the second pillar that I use to sign 60 clients is by playing the detective, right? Now, you might be like, what the hell does that even mean, Arian? I'll show you. If you play the detective right, you'll book a boatload of calls. So look at this. This is for one of our clients, and for every 50, the campaign is only 4%, but for every 56 emails that we send out, we're getting a positive lead. And you might be wondering, how the hell is that even possible for cold email? You're automating sending out 56, you're automating sending out these thousands of cold emails, and for every 56 messages you send out, you're getting an interested response. How are you able to do that? The reason why we're able to do this is because we played the detective before we even pressed launch on the campaign. If you play the detective, if you're like Sherlock Holmes, because I'm going to show you how you can do this, you will book a boatload of calls. So here's what I mean, right? Here's how you actually be Sherlock Holmes himself. So a detective like Sherlock Holmes, he doesn't guess and just randomly blast out thousands of messages, right? Instead, what he does is he observes, eliminates, and he concludes. So what I mean is you want to observe clues. What does your market really want in terms of their desires and their pain points? Maybe they want more booked calls. Maybe they want more leads. Maybe they want to get number one on Google. Maybe they want more brand awareness. Maybe they want to beat their competition. Whatever it may be, you have to observe the clues. Then you want to eliminate the fluff. You want to drop anything that they don't care about or is low on the totem pole. So let's say your market wants more clients. They want to get number one on Google and they want to beat their competition, right? On the totem pole there, the thing that is probably the lowest in terms of like their desires is probably number one on Google, because as long as they're making more money and they're beating their competition, they're not going to care, right? They're not going to care about being number one on Google as much as those two things. And so if I was in that situation, if I was Sherlock Holmes in this situation, I would just drop number two and get rid of the Google stuff and keep the client and beating competition. Right? And that's the exact same thing that you have to do when you're looking at your market. Play the detective and eliminate the fluff. And then finally, again, keep the two to three things that makes the dream outcome come fast. So just play the detective, observe all the clues, eliminate the fluff, and just keep the winners. And then that's what you're going to send out in your outreach messages in terms of their pain points and their desires. If you can do this, again, you will book a boatload of calls. We are literally getting for every 56 messages we send out, we're getting a positive lead. That is really, really, really good for automated cold email blasts. So play the detective. And finally, reps. Now, I'm going to show you this video. This is when I first started my business. I'm going to mute the sound, hopefully, but you'll see why I show this. So the sound is muted. And then again, just observe my reaction. So pretty much the premise of this was when I first started my business and I was first doing outreach, I was manually sending out cold emails. And this positive response took me around 50 to 60 emails to get one positive response, which is, again, pretty good. But the thing was, it took another 50 to 60 to book my first ever call. So in total, it was around like 100 to 120 emails to book my first call. But the problem was I was doing this all manually, and this was taking up a bunch of time, right? So the emails itself were pretty good. Like it was more manual approach, and it was decent, but it was so time consuming. And at the same time, keep in mind, I was working jobs, I was in college, and so I did not have the time. I only had the time to send out like 5 to 10 emails a day, or like maybe 10 emails a day max. And so it was very, 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 very time consuming. And a lot of people, they have the same issue, right? You might be in the same boat as I was back in the day, where you're in college, you're in that 9 to 5, and you're sending out outreach messages on your lunch break or maybe after class, whatever it may be. But you just don't have the time to send out that many because your classes take up a lot of time. And your boss is like, "Hey, we need this project done," and you're just not able to send out a lot of messages, and you're not able to get in front of a lot of people, and that can really slow you down because this works, don't get me wrong, but you need to actually find a way to automate sending all of this, right? So what you want to do instead is automate sending all of your outreach messages, and you want to use a tool like smartly.ai or instantly.ai. So in here, you can buy domains and email accounts, and you want to buy at least 10 domains with 2 email accounts each. If you do this and you send out 22 emails a day, you will nearly be at 9K emails a month. Now, if you could buy more than 10 domains if you want, but that is decent enough volume for you to get started. And excuse the spelling error here. And the reason why I say all of this is because volume negates luck. Shoot more shots up, like Kobe is doing here, RIP. Shoot more shots up, and you will eventually book more calls, because obviously volume negates luck. The more you put yourself out there, the more people will come to you. Because you have to realize, again, the reason why you're not booking as many calls as you want is because people just don't know who you are. You don't exist in their mind. You Chances are, if you're watching this in 2025, you already know how to create a Hermosi offer. You already know how to use AI to craft pain points or go after their desires. You already know all this stuff, but the thing is, you just don't have the reps. You don't have the reps. People don't know you exist. And so to get into their mind and to infiltrate their subconscious, you have to send out volume, send out more emails, get in their inbox, and just get in their mind, right? So I want you to automate the sending, because if you're not automating the sending, you'll be like this guy above, where he's getting happy at one positive response. This is the first ever positive response I ever got, and I recorded on camera, by the way. But this is the first ever positive response I ever got. And again, this took like 50 to 60 emails, and this was like 2 to 3 weeks of sending. Like this took a while, man, to get this. Where you could just skip the first 2 to 3 weeks if you just automate the sending by using tools like Smart Leader Instantly and just sending out a lot of messages, and you can get your first positive response in a day. And then imagine that compounds over time. You get like 3 in a day or 4 in a day, and you just keep going. You book calls and you sign deals. Boom, instantly, right? So automate the sending, shoot more shots up, and get into the mind of your clients, because you already know how to create an offer. Hermosi has made everything easy for you and accessible for you. You already know how to use AI to craft pain points around, craft the offer around their pain points, their desires. You just need to send more volume. That's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the 3 pillars that helped me sign 60 clients with cold outreach. And here's a quick summary of this. Make sure your foundation is right. Cold outreach takes daily discipline and patience, and consistency compounds over time. Do detective work. Don't just spray and pray. Observe, eliminate to book more calls. Again, this is actually very important, because you don't want to since you're automating the messages, you don't want to just blast out generic stuff. Observe, eliminate, and book more calls. And finally, do reps and volume. Scale with tools like Smart Lead. Send out more volumes, and you'll get more results. That is how I signed 60 clients using this cold outreach strategy. So if you want similar results and you want me to teach you how to do this, actually, click the link below to join my free school community. And once you're in, I can show you all the steps and all the nitty-gritty details to how to actually do this. This is the exact same method, like I said, that we used for some of our clients here. We helped Deepak generate $270,000 in 8 months. We helped Renee in First Ring Digital book 75 meetings and sign 13 new clients. We helped Matthias from Magnuson Film book 25 meetings, close 3 deals. We helped Drew book 15 meetings, close multiple deals. Cash and Marketing booked 30 meetings and closed multiple deals. And then Aziz booked 20 meetings and closed 3 deals. So if you are interested, ladies and gentlemen, click the link in the description below. You can join my free school community, and I will speak to you in the next video. Thank you.